Satnam, sweet sisters around the world, future mamas, current mamas, grandmamas, um, amazing aunties, all of us as women holding space for these divine beings coming through. So Khalsa Way definitely emphasizes on pregnancy and birth, but there's so much getting us to that pregnancy, conscious conception, and then there is so much more after conception, right? Motherhood is where the journey really begins. Pregnancy is almost like a vacation compared to what we step into as mamas. And so part of our focus and our emphasis is definitely those first 3 years when children are still very attached to mama, still very dependent on mama, and so therefore the consciousness of the child and the mom are very much intertwined. And that is why conscious parenting, especially in those early years, is so critical to helping raise children who will have the tools and the inner resources to cope with life and all that it throws our way in the most strong and graceful ways. I'm in the throes of it with an almost 3-year-old. And so I've really, had this last 3 years to experience firsthand what we teach in the training. And one of the things that I am so grateful for is that I had these tools before I even conceived. I had this way of thinking about conception and birth and motherhood well before I kind of threw myself into the ring of testing out my tools. And so, mamahood is amazing and it's a joy, and I feel very grateful that I have that relationship to it, but I'm also still very human and I have my own conditionings, and I'm having to reparent myself every single day to try to keep up with the demands of a toddler. And some days I fall short and some days I rise to the occasion. But one of the things I know through and through is that I would not be the mother I am. I would not be able to be as conscious and as aware and as really intentional as I am if I hadn't had these teachings. And I had to wait a long time to conceive my son. He didn't come quickly. He came on his own timing. And so there was this great joy when he did arrive that I finally got to step into a role I knew I always wanted. But that time gave me extra time to prepare to be the mother I am. And so if you are trying to conceive, or you are pregnant, or you think you want to be pregnant one day, doing this work now is better than ever, because if you're kind of trying to learn on the job, or you can compare it to getting training before you start the job, I would always think that getting training before you start would make more sense. And really all your training is yourself, right? Like our kids come in the way they come in. They're, beings from the heavens or from God or from angels, whatever you want to think of it as, but like they are pure. They're these little pure essences of light, and it's us as the adults that have to work on our own inner stuff in order to be able to show up and support them in who they are to become. And that takes work, and that takes like inner cultivation, and this training is the foreground for that, for setting yourself up so that you can remember what you've probably forgotten. It's almost not about learning something new. It's about just remembering what we as instinctual, intuitive, conscious mamas already know, and giving ourselves permission. So one of the greatest gifts of Khalsa Way, I think, that showed up in my parenthood is this confidence that I will do it the way that I feel is best. And I'm not really worried about what other people think. I do things unconventionally. I break the rules. I, do everything that the sleep guides tell me not to do. I do everything that the, mainstream narrative around food doesn't do. Like, I do what feels right inside of me as a mother, and I don't give a crap what other people think. And that confidence can only come from a place of inner knowing. It's not something that can just be switched on. So if you don't work on cultivating that inner knowing before stepping into motherhood, you're just going to be more susceptible to what the world wants to tell you to do. And so again, another reason, like, get your training underway well before that child arrives, if possible, because once you're thrown into the deep end with that little person and the world has so many opinions around parenthood, you're going to be swimming in a sea of conflicting ideas, and you're going to be trying to navigate what to do, as opposed to turning inward, and asking yourself what feels right, because I know my child better than any other being on this planet, and I know what is right for my child. So Khalsa Way may seem like, because of the title, it's just prenatal yoga teacher training and you're going to go out and teach prenatal yoga, but it is so much richer, so much deeper than any of that. It gives you the tools to know how to, yes, move your body in a safe way, to guide others to move their bodies in safe ways, but it also gives you a sense of inner confidence as a parent. It gives you tools to help others find their own inner confidence. It gives you a way of thinking as a parent, to question your own thoughts, to question your behaviors, to reparent yourself so that you're not passing down a generational trauma. It gives you opportunity to heal. It gives you opportunity to relax into sisterhood. So the training is just a wonderful opportunity for women to come together and remember what we've already known for many, 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 many thousands of years, and forget some of the conditioning that may have set in the context of our modern day society. We hope you'll join us in Mexico, February 16th to 23rd. It's going to be warm and delicious, and just a wonderful chance to be together. Satnam.